That was book number 5. This is book number 6. Sorry, 6 dot. Skanda 6. Skanda 5. Skanda 5. This is called volume 2. It is 5. What is it? 6.1.1. That will be rather 6.1.1. 6.1.1. Huh? Okay. You can sit little. Sit one so that we can see each other. Or you can sit there also. Om Vasudeva Shutam Devam Kamshasuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadguru. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We salute Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the destroyer of the demons, Kamsa and Chanura, the dear darling of the mothers, Devaki, and the Guru and teacher of the whole world. We salute him again and again. Om peace, peace, peace. Now we are starting today Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th book, 1st chapter, verse number 1. Sorry, 6. Did I say 6? Yeah, 6. Here it starts with the episode of the 6th skanda. It consists this particular 6th chapter. Skanda, it is called skanda. Consists of 19 chapters. It has 19 chapters. 6, 1 we are reading today, but it is 6 has 19 chapters with a total number of about 849 verses. The main topic dealt with 18 is called Poshana, means redemption, the redemptive act of God. So it is protective force. God protects us. That idea is manifested here. It is described as the Lord's sportive manifestation in different ages among various species of beings, starting from brute creation to men to the sages, the gods, etc. One of the important purposes of all incarnation is to save men and women from this world of birth and death, and that is nothing but redemption. So God comes again and again. The main purpose of it is to redeem the suffering humanity. But Poshana is one word which connotes unconditional grace, by which even the apparently most undeserving are saved. Yes, you have some good karma, you are saved by God's grace. But even one has done terrible bad karma, God's grace is so spontaneous that he can be saved by his redemptive power. So even the most sinner can be freed from all sin by his unconditional grace. The first 3 chapters are devoted to one story of a gentleman whose name is Ajamila. It's called Ajamila story. Originally a very pious man. He was a very holy, truthful person and lead a good life. But Ajamila took a life of sin because he went into evil association. That's why in spiritual life it is said, always keep good company, holy company. Unholy company, it can drown you down into the path of negativity and sin, what we call sin. Sin means the path of darkness and not of the path of light and illumination. So, but this Ajamil, God's grace is so much. Though he was a pious person, he fell into wrong association, bad association, and then he did all this, and when the death comes at the end, we call they go to hell. That's the concept. On his deathbed, overcome by the fear at the sight of Yama's emissaries, the death appearing now, you did this for punishment, the soul is to be taken. Then the Ajamilo, felt nervous and he was so fearful and he cried out the name of the Lord, Narayana, Narayana. He unconsciously takes the name of the Lord's name, Lord Narayana name. And by the power of the redeeming power of the Lord's name, he was saved from this suffering of this punishment. How such an unworthy sinner? Yes, sinner means the language you understand. Vedanta does not accept sin, but some negative activity which brings negative impact in our life. Pain, suffering, fear, anxieties, worries. So, how such an unworthy sinner is saved for merely taking the Lord's name once? And that even without having him in the mind. He was not really devotedly calling upon God, no? Because he was a good guy before. He has devotion for God. And he went into bad association, then led a very different life. And he was fearful of death. And that time he cried, at least this much he did, he called upon God. So, how such an unworthy sinner is saved for just merely taking the Lord's name once. Once he called, O Lord Narayana. And that even without having him in the mind. He was not thinking of now, only out of his fear. He took the name of Narayana. It's a mystery which could be solved only if one accepts the Bhagavatam theory of the inherent power of the holiness of the divine name. Here is glorification of the name of God. Vaishnava literature, the Bhakti school says that once you take the name of the Lord, if you believe it, there's such a redempting power that you cannot commit so much sin in your whole life. Meaning, the power of the name of God is tremendously purifying. It can destroy our sins and misdeeds of life. So this is a assurance for the devotees. We ordinary people in the world will live with so many good, bad experiences. So who will help us? And yogis, rishis, they are meditative. They can cure themselves. But only one thing Bhakti school emphasizes, God and His name. That's why japa, japa, japa is so powerful. Holy Mother said, by japa, by repeating the holy name of God, one can be liberated. You need not have to do anything. Just repeat the name of the Lord day and night. That is sufficient to take away all the sins and misdeeds of life. So to prove this story is very important. Bhagavatam is narrating that story of the Ajamila. The point is discussed in this relevant chapter, the text, and the footnote we have added there. So that is this chapter we are going through. Then, preparatory to the story, then came another story. So So let us see how this starts. It is a long introduction. So we'll start the sixth book, chapter 1. It says, this conversation was going on. Let us go back to the story back. The king Parikshit, he has been given the verdict that you are more 7 days in the world. You will die after 7 days. That was the curse of a holy man. And then he thought that, oh, only my 7 days are left. What shall I do now? So he gave up his all kingdom and wealth, all the luxuries of life, and just went into the forest. And he wanted, I don't want to hear anything now. I want to hear about God. I want to think of the Lord Narayana, Bhagavan Krishna, no? And just day and night listen to that, listen to that, listen to that. Nothing else. So he says that it is he is asking this question, Raja. Then he was in that, and then when he went into the forest, and then one fully illumined sage, Shukadeva, who is from the very birth, is liberated soul. So he was passing by, and then this king prostrated before him and asked some spiritual questions. And that is the conversation, this is book. So he then asked this illumined soul, Shukadeva, sage, great sage, illumined person, these secrets of life. And in this way, thinking about God day and night, not to think of anything. We are afraid of this world, we suffer from this world because we are engrossed into the world. How to get out of the world? You keep your mind in God all the time. Give your thoughts, prayers, keep your prayer, keep your chanting, and try to read good books, try to listen to the holy things, so that your mind is tuned continuously about the divine, about the Lord. So now the Ajamila episode, Ajamila's sinful life. So Raja is the king, King Parikshit, who is to die on the 7 days. He is asking the question to the sage Shukadeva. Raja Parikshit said, what he said? You, worshipful sir, have at first expounded the means for emancipation from transmigratory existence. You have already said our life is transmigratory, birth and death, birth and death, birth and death. Hindus believe in not in one birth, life after life, life after life. Desire brings us into here. And then even when we die, our desire is not fulfilled. We want another, another, another. And in that process of running from life to life, life to life, and we go into the samsara. No? And then when you understand this, there is nothing in this world interests me. It is all transient, it is all temporary, it is all painful, it is all negative. Then we turn towards God. And that is a turning point. And when one can turn his mind to God day and night, then he is released from the bondage of this life. So here, so this transmigrated existence, you have told us how we are in the wheel of birth and death, and how we can get out. So it consists in practicing divine communion to different disciplines. You practice different disciplines. All the religions are talking us to follow certain disciplines. Truthfulness, honesty, non-injury, hurting nothing, uh, taking everything in. So it consists in practicing divine communion. We can get connected with the divine. How? In different disciplines, following different disciplines. Uh, Fasting, japa, repetition of God's name, analyzing the world as unreal, momentary, momentary, momentary. God is the only reality. Being convinced on that, thinking of that, meditating on that, working for that. All these disciplines have been mentioned, and attaining to Brahma's realm. Then doing all this good karma, you go to higher and higher plane. Hindus has several heavens. Uh, and if you do good work, think of Brahman, Brahma, then you reach the Saguna Brahma. You become the plane of Brahma. Now, as we think that then if you go to Christ plane, Buddha plane, uh, there you will find Christ and Christ's disciples and all the saints. They are there, and you will merge in them. You will live there how long? As long as that deity survives. It is called the Brahma. You go by spiritual practice on good disciplinary path, following that path, you reach a point, you go to the Brahma Loka. That's called Brahma Loka, the plane of the Brahma, the creator God. And attaining Brahma's realm, and there from there attaining the release from embodied existence at the time of Pralaya along the Brahma himself. Then when Brahma merges into Brahman, you also, after enjoying so much of heavenly divine joy, you merge into that absolute Brahman. Understand? It is you go to the modern, this material plane of suffering and death and this, you raise into your consciousness into higher and higher consciousness by thinking of God, and then you don't march in Brahmagyan, but you can reach a plane, it's called Brahmaloka, ultimately, and stay there for as long Brahma is there, and enjoying that blissful state. And then when Brahma also merges in the Brahman, you also merge in Brahman. And then enormous period of time in full blessedness you live over there. You have also described the life of involved samsara, how driven by the force of karma, the jiva is born repeatedly in different spheres. We are born in different planes, different spheres, different bodies, all of which are constituted of the evolutes of the three gunas of Prakriti. So all these are, this whole world is made of three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, three gunas, and that is called the Prakriti, nature. Various purgatories which await evildoers were described. Oh, you have described, oh sage, Sukadev, you have described before, or you have read those chapters, that how you do some bad karma and get some purgatory process in the heaven, in the hell, lower planes, and after that gone, then you become pure and come back. You have also described that. So now it behoves you, O Holy One, to explain how man can save himself from the sufferings of the purgatory described by you. How we can, all negative things we do, sinful acts we do, consciously or unconsciously, how can we get out of that? Can you tell me? So that is my question. Please help me. Good people, those who are austere people, they gradually by meditation they go from one plane to the another plane. But ordinary people who have committed too much sinful activity or negative things, how they will be released? Can you tell us? Then the Sukha said, verse number 7. I'm reading on page 113 of book number 2. Book means this book. We have 5 books, no? 5 books, this type of book. That is the Bhagavatam. How many verses?
18,000.
18,000, only small book. 18,000 verses. And this talks of the old time, no? All these names and things that we are not familiar. When it comes to philosophy, we can understand a little bit, but the stories are very interesting. But some people will, like me, I'm not good at stories. That's why I don't forget even who is what relationship with what. Who, anyhow, we can take the essence out of that afterwards. Now the Sukadev saying, but 7th verse. Unless man does expiations, even here in this world, for the sin he has committed by his mind, speech, and organs, he is sure to undergo the fierce suffering of the purgatories I described to you. That karma, it's a karma theory. Vedanta believes in karma theory, Bhagavad says so. Karma theory is very dangerous. To read this book, you will be fearful about that. People do so much bad things in the world. How brutally one people torture others, this, that. A little you do, it comes back to you. So karma is a very dangerous thing. You give a pounding like that, your hand will be getting pounding back. You do like that, yes, you get back that. So in your life, very serious. What you do, what you speak, what you act, what you react, everything is dangerous because it comes back to you. Trauma, this is a very dangerous thing. People don't think. That's why they do whatever they like. And when you become pure, then purgatory. Purgatory means, my formula is that you need money, you have no money. So you have a credit card. And use the credit card, purchase, yeah, very joyful, cheerful. Now, when the credit card says pay back, then with 4% interest, 24% interest. And then payment, oh my God, with the tears and suffering and pain. No? That is the problem. We create our karma and purgatory reactions when comes, paying back the rent or paying back the debit card, a credit card loan. So with interest. That's why it is said, unless a man does expiation, even here in this land, therefore in this world, live a good life. We should do something. That's why austerity. People do fasting. People do japa, rosary, go to the pilgrimage. In pilgrimage, they go over barefooted. In the hot summer, they go circumambulating holy places, birthplace of Jerusalem, no? Birthplace of Christ, and here and there. And then in Holy Land, in India, they go to Vrindavan, they go to Benares, all these holy land, holy places of pilgrimage. We go to Dakshineshwar, in Ramakrishna's place of sadhana. We go to Jairambati where Holy Mother Sarada Devi was born. So doing this, it removes it is willingly I am doing austerity to clear my bad karmas. Therefore, long before death, sufficiently early in life, when the mind and body have not become decrepit, man should do expiation for whatever sins he had done according to their seriousness. Just as a physician skilled in diagnosis treats disease with remedies appropriate to the prevailing condition. No? Therefore, take care of here. Don't wait for life after death. Here, whatever bad karma I have done, let us be now positively working out our all negativities. How? Do some opposite good karma. Pray, meditate, serve, be unselfish, do something, eh? Not think of anyone to hurt in word, thought, and deed. No. So this type of thing. So it says, therefore, long before death, this body dies. When death comes, then you cannot do anything. The god of death is holding the tucked hair. Come. No, no, give me 5 minutes time. No, 5 minutes. Huh? I have given you enough time. Long time notice I have given. Your teeth are falling. Hey, you are becoming old. Now think of me. I have given you disease. Oh, there's disease. Hey, alarm notice, eviction notice, one by one. So get alert. You're having this anxiety. Hey, it is your negative thought somewhere. Get out of it, get out of it. These are my notice. I'm making you ready to come with me. But you have not done that. You will have to go after that dark life of suffering, which is called hell. Hell is suffering. So better do it here positively so that it encounters all the balances. Pay off your loan as little as you can, being little miser. No, you have to whatever. People do that. Good people to get out of the loan, what they do? They cut their expenses to the minimum and pay up, pay up, pay up, pay up. So think of God more, do good things, unselfish work, and think of God more and more and more. So, and lead a simple, austere, God-centered life. So that will be freeing the mind from our bad, old negativities. When the mind and the body have not become decrepit, when the body becomes old, mind becomes helpless, mind loses the power, no? If you go to depression, then what happens? Mind loses all power. You cannot think anything. Mind goes down. Look at the people who are suffering from mental illness, no? So their physical body is strong, but mind is so weak, they cannot do anything, become helpless. So, because your mind, when the mind and body have not become weak, one should do expiations for whatever sin he had done. We do not know whatever bad karma you have done, but this is the time to think about that, to get out of this negative things. One should make some measure. Just we go to doctor when disease is in the top, then you have to suffer long. But if you go to doctor, that's why they say you are Medicare. They want you to go to doctor every some time, period of time, because they can easily understand at the very beginning the cause of the disease. With few doses of medicine, you can be cured. And then you don't go to doctor and then it accumulates, become very serious. Then you go, it will take longer time. As I said, cancer, detecting the cancer. Preventive measure is talking about take preventive measure. When it starts acting, then you are helpless. But do take preventive measure in spiritual life. Like the physicians, and just as a physician skilled in diagnosis treats the disease with remedies appropriate to the prevailing condition. They can immediately start, doctor can help to cure the disease with a little few doses in the beginning. Pain relieving. You are having heavy headache. Don't suffer for heavy headache. If you know that it's coming, take one dose and that will reduce your pain in future. So take measure now. That is spirituality. Mostly people think that we'll do that when we die. We'll see when we become old. Youthful time, let us spend the days here and there, dancing, eat and do whatever, and we grow old, then we'll think. No, spirituality is for now. That's why Swami Brahmananda says, no, you have to do it now when you are young, because your young enthusiasm is there. You can take a resolution. I will do more meditation. I will do more repeating God's name. I will read more. I will sing songs, which is purifying. So I will do all this. You can do them. When you become old, then body will say, I cannot. You want to get up in the early morning, body will say, like, you want to sleep. You want to come over here and meditate, then you will doze off because it's the body. So it is to be done young. That is the emphasis is here. Sukadev says, do when you are young. Then Raja said, Raja again, king again putting a question. Even after understanding from experience and instructions that something is sinful, men are found to commit the same sin in spite of themselves. It happens, no? We know it is bad, but we cannot resist. We know ice cream is bad, but ice cream comes and I take it. I know that McDonald's food is bad, too much greasy food is bad for fat and diabetes, cholesterol, but I like it, I take it. I know theoretically, but practically I cannot apply. That's our major problem, is it not? Our major problem is that we know it is not good, but I cannot resist to take it. Of what use then are these expansions? Then you are talking of that, you take preventive measure. What shall I do? That's why Duryodhana said, Janami dharmam nachame pravitti. I know what is righteousness. I know what is spirituality. I know what is good, but I am not inclined to do that. Janami adharmam. I know that is not good. It is bad, but I cannot resist. So what shall I do? Taya Rishikesa, O Lord Narayana, you are in my heart. Jatha Nijuktasmi, I take refuge at you. Please involve me wherever you like. I am doing as per your dictate. So say, talk to the Lord. Oh Lord, I cannot control. I know it is bad. I want not to go in intellectually, but I cannot resist myself. And I know this is good, but I have no inclination to do it. So please help me. They are not able to erase the sinful tendency. That means, though we understand, but that does not solve. We knowing does not do. We are taught from our childhood, lead a moral life, lead this life, that life. We all get this instruction. Every scripture, every religion talks about it. Fundamental good practices. For some time, man may abstain from sin, but a little later he indulges in it in spite of expiation. I therefore feel that expiations are useless, like bathing and cleaning an elephant whose habit is to spray dust on its back again. Ramakrishna also said that elephants, you bathe and do, and the elephant will come out and then again roll down on the ground and make the body dirty. Once you clean it, but again it does the same thing. So tell me, what is the use of cleaning the body? No, if you clean, okay, say I am not going to make it dirty. Once you clean your mind, don't think that I will make it dirty with negative thinking. Once you feel that your understanding is moving towards God, don't make that my understanding in the wrong direction in the world again. So, but we are helpless. We know, but we cannot stop. We understand, but we cannot take proper action. And if I take action, I forget the next moment. So what can be done? Then response is coming. Very important. It is our question. We all in our spiritual life, we know. We want to be good. We want to be doing this. But by unconsciously I do something. Then I repent, hey, why did I do it? But it's already done. Okay, I won't do again. Second time, I do the same thing. All the diabetic patients, no, very careful. They will not eat. But a cup of tea, they'll be shouting, sugar I don't take, sugar I don't take. And silently, one cup full of milk, some very bad for our health, that type of sweet he's enjoying silently. He doesn't know. We do that all the time in the table. I don't know, no, this is sugar. And then you go and take what is sugary thing, and we're already putting in your mouth. Chocolate is there. Hey, this chocolate is very good. Then take more. So, see, one place you are trying to restrain, but the tendency is such is taking you to again take it in your mouth. So similarly, our life moves on in this way. Some fight, internal fight, no? Struggle goes on. Sukadeva said, Avidya or ignorance is the ultimate source of all karma, including expiations. You want to wipe out your bad karma? That also is in the realm of ignorance. Both we are in ignorance in our present state. So even you are trying to do some good karma, that is also in the realm of ignorance. You're not in ignorance, you are Atman. If you are beyond the ignorance, you are Atman, you are pure, you are no, nothing is necessary for you. So avidya or ignorance is the ultimate source of all karma, including expiations. Expiations can therefore wash off only the effects of a particular sinful act, but not the tendency to commit them. You clean it, you took trouble to clean the body. Okay, that is you are clean, your overall sin is gone. But the tendency which we have in our mind, which makes me again forget and again run, the tendency is very difficult to get out. That's called the sanskaras. Understand? Tendency and potential tendency, which is inside, that is more powerful. We may be very restrained in front of other people around, no? But when get a private time, what I eat, what I do, that time tendency forces us. Even we know it is bad, what do you do? So therefore, take care of the tendencies. Take care of two aspects. One, immediate expiation, or taking care that I will now think of God, not any negative consciously. When I am looking, I will see what is auspicious. To the ear, I shall hear what is auspicious. Oh Lord. Or there is a prayer, we pray sometimes. Oh Lord, let us see what is auspicious through our eyes, through our Bangme, what is that Upanishadic chanting. To the ear, let me hear only the noble things. To the tongue, let me take the prasad, offering of God. No? What is pure, let me absorb those only. And no negative. So long as ignorance there is source persists, this can be ultimately faced only by the knowledge of God. So how can we get out then? To face our tendency, bad tendencies, which is hiding. Even I do not know. On the superficial surface, what tendency you can control. Doctor says, take this medicine, don't eat this food, that food. Okay, consciously I can do. But my tendency, that's why don't keep the things which is not good for your health in your room. If you don't sweets, don't keep the sweets. Don't. Some people say, don't keep anything which will be bringing more cholesterol or say blood clogging things to stop the heart or heart damaging things or so that you can do. But the tendency comes that will, so tendency is to be removed. How the tendency can be done? By knowledge. By knowledge of God, you can remove the ignorance which we are in. So ultimately, this Bhagavad is saying that knowledge is the remover of ignorance. And knowledge, when comes, your day to day action, that will be pure, and your tendency being pure, your attention will go away. That's why people, when they become dedicate their life for God, like monks and nuns, that moment they want to directly connect with God so that they give up all connections with the world. But they forget again. Coming in the life, they become another household. There's another house, you left it and come in this house, and that's also another house. After a few days, you feel it's a house, unless you are aware of it. So, now coming to be a monk or a nun, or to be here for a long time, or being as a devotee staying, that does not make any difference. Knowledge will destroy it. So be careful every moment. So I not do any negative thought. I don't do anything. Rather, I work on concrete positive thinking and service, positive service. All this and connected with God, so that my heart gets illumined. And when it will be illumined, then all tendencies will be there, but it will not be effective in my life. So Sukadev said that this can be ultimately faced only by knowledge of God. A man or a woman who is who is on wholesome diet does not fall ill. In the same way, O king, one who practices spiritual disciplines gradually attains purification of mind, and through that the knowledge of God. How the knowledge of God will come? It will not drop from the heaven. You have to work for that. You have to, Ajay, well, O king, one practices spiritual disciplines. And how? Gradually attains purification. Tapasa brahmacharya. This translation is, they have left so much. If you want to, tapasa, only they said a spiritual discipline. But in Sanskrit you go, tapasa. Tapasa means austerity, fasting, hard, lying in the hard bed on the ground. But not giving to luxury to body and mind, so that it gets inclined into that type of pleasure seeking tendency. So it says tapasya brahmacharya, being a celibate, samena cha damena cha, practicing shama, dama, titiksha, upurati, shraddha, samadha, six treasures. Shama means control of the senses. Dhamma is control of the organs of actions. Samadhama, titiksha, austerity. Shraddha, faith in God, trust in God. Samadhama, titiksha, uparati, withdrawing the mind from all the attractive things of the world. Just bring it back to God. Samadhama, tapas, uh, uh, Shraddha and Samadhan. Samadhan means balancing the mind in peace. So, Tyageno, another tendency you have to renounce. Tyageno Satta Sociabhyam. Satta Sociabhyam. Following the truthfulness. Suchita means purity of the body and mind. Yameno is control of the senses. Niyameno is following the rules and regulations of life. Deho bag buddhijam dhira dharvagga swadhanit. So deho bag, deho means body, bag means speech, buddhi means intellect, and all becomes purifying, and they be steady and devoted to God. Shipanti aham mahadopi. You can throw away your mahadapi, grand and great agham. Agham means sin or sinful activities. Je benu gulmo ego analam. You, as you put fire into the, what you call the creepers, collecting creepers together and put a fire, as it dry, just gets burnt, so all the karmas will be done that way. And this is one way. So he said, O king, one practices spiritual disciplines like by means of austerity, celibacy, control of the mind, control of the senses, charity, practice of virtues like kindness, truth, etc. And disciplines like japa, repeating holy name, worshipping God. A person of righteousness and faith overcomes even great sins committed by body, word, and mind, just as a fire destroys a grove of reeds. Huh? So this is the point. Everyone, we are whatever we are, forget that. Don't repent on that. But he says, do take action. These are the qualities. Try to practice austerity, try to make the purity of body and mind, control of the senses, then do some charity, practice virtues like kindness, truth, do service to holy people, the disciplines, practice of japa, worship, etc. A person can, righteous person, can gradually get out of the great sin which was committed before. Don't think of the past, but take action now. Why my cholesterol has gone up? No use of thinking and meditating on that. Take measure now so that cholesterol, high cholesterol, HDL become good, LDL become less. Take such food habit. Pay attention to that. Do exercise. Take actions. Similarly, here in spiritual life, take actions of doing selfless work, meditation, prayer, good things, all this. There are some rare persons who endowed with intense, unadulterated devotion, kechit kevalaya bhaktya, vasudeva parayana, then wonderful, resigning themselves completely to Vasudeva, Krishna, Narayana, God. So there are people. This is one way of practicing austerity, fasting, celibacy, this, that. Another is that there are some people who endowed with intense and unadulterated devotion to God, resigns themselves completely to Lord God, and thereby eradicate sin utterly like the sun dissipating mist. When the sun comes up, the morning mist we see, mist goes away. Similarly, the mist of ignorance will go away. Mist of bad tendencies will go away. All the bad karmas, sinful activity, they will be wiped out here and now as the sun rises. What is the sun? Devotion, sun of devotion. Love God, cry for God, weep for God. Ramakrishna said, emphasized, no? If one can cry in the name of God and tears roll down the cheeks, you have achieved great benefit out of it. All the sins will go away. That means you are going in love with God. And God is like sun. If you go closer to the sun, all the darkness will vanish naturally. If you are away from the sun, see we are in the ground, that's why we feel little mist. We don't see the sun till morning, whole morning, no? Now it has come out. To come out means what? Was it somewhere gone? Sun was there. God is here. The mist came in between. When the mist is evaporated, God is there now. This mist or cloud is our ignorance, and that is to be removed. And if that is removed, God is here and now, you can experience. So there are some rare people who endowed with intense and unadulterated devotion, resigns themselves completely to Vasudeva, and thereby eradicate the sin utterly, like the sun dissipating the mist. Keichit kevalaya bhakta vasudeva parayana agham dhruvanti karsneno niharam eva bhaskara. Then 16th verse. The purification effaced by austerity and other disciplines is not so complete as by dedication of all one faculties to Bhagavan Krishna achieved through the service of his devotees. No? You can do austerity, you can do other hard practices, but here Sri Shukadev is advising us that the purification affected by austerity and other discipline is not complete. Complete will be as dedication to one's faculties to curb all our faculties. Oh Lord, I offer everything to God. My body, my mind, my soul, my heart, I offer it to you, O Lord. Please accept them. And achieve to the service of his devotees. Another good thing is that you have to serve the devotees. Devotees means who are the devotees who thinks of God. If you can serve them, then your papa or all negativity will go away quickly. Serving God and his children, that is the way to quickly wipe out our sin. That is the suggestion. A beautiful idea of karma theory here. Do niskama karma. It's called sadhu seva, holy man. That's why it's a big emphasis is given that you should serve God as also God's children. And whole Ramakrishna movement, its foundation is on that. Whatever you are doing, don't think of yourself. Think of others. Do good to others. And as much as you do good to others, your heart will be clean and clean and clean and clean. That's quicker way of purification of our mind, which is drowned into ignorance. This path of devotion, which is without any risk and which is comparatively easy to practice, is the best suited for men in general. For those who follow this path and can draw on the support of great devotees who are extremely devoted to Narayana and are disposed to help others. So this path of devotion, 17 verse says that 17 verse says, well, there's this path of devotion which is without any risk. It's a very safe path, very simple path, not complicated. That you are philosophizing. It is not philosophizing. It is by service without any risk, which is comparatively easy to practice. Everyone can easily practice this. What is the best suited for men in general? For those who follow this path of devotion to God and devotion to his children. The whole world is his children. You serve him in any way you like. And especially those are holy people. You can get a chance to serve them. You get the best benefit. Because by their presence, by their grace, all the things, what is our bad goes away, and the noble thing, what they have inculcated in their life, that comes into our life. For those who follow this path and can draw on the support of great devotees, follow this path can draw on the support of great devotees who are extremely devoted to Narayana and are disposed to help others. And then they become the support of others. O King, the expiations performed by men who are not devoted to Narayana fail to cleanse themselves entirely like water, a liquor pot. If a man with a feeling of passionate attachment unites his mind with Krishna's feet, even once, he will not see Jama or his emissaries with noose in hand, even in dream. So, this is the beautiful verse, 18 verse. It says that if you, a person with a feeling of passionate attachment to, unites his mind with Krishna, that means you love God passionately, as we love things in the material world passionately. If that type of love is given to God, the Lord, here they are saying Narayana. You can think of Christ, you can think of Buddha, you can think of Ramakrishna, whatever. That means one passionately loves God. The same way we love the world, then that will be able to eradicate all our bad karmas and will life no more the fear of death, no more to go anywhere. All sins are erased out. So we end here, verse number 19. So we read 6.1.19. And we end here. Our next class will be at 7:30 here on the Upanishad. Seta Upanishad. Here is a question. We'll have some question for a few minutes. Question. If everyone is to focus on bettering themselves instead of finding fault with the world, then who is responsible for rectifying the blunders and wrongdoings in the society? Kshatriyas traditionally were tasked to uphold dharma in society, while varnashrama is not strictly maintained in modern times. Should we wait for Avatar to initiate societal changes? Avatar, I don't think that if everyone is to focus on bettering themselves, that should be the society. Everyone, why not live happily? Why live in the world with negativity? Why live with the anger? Why live in the world with being jealous of each other? That is not a life. It is not. There is no peace in it. People think that being jealous, being angry, being selfish, it has people try that and always suffering, suffering, suffering. So what's the need of that? Why not follow the path where one can be bettering themselves by character, by purity, by love, by generosity? It is not to, we are not to think that someone rectify. Rectify this world is means, you need not, there will be some people always to rectify. Uh, how many in the world think of God? Look at that. If you take, if you make an assessment, take chunk of 1,000 people, how many are thinking of God? How many think at all it is a necessity to improve our character? How many people believe that there is afterlife? So rectifying process is everywhere. Kshatriyas means the king. We have a democratic government. That is the king. So many rules are there. So many protections are there. Don't do harm. Why the jail is there? Why? Prison is there. Rectifying. That you don't do that bad thing, you go to jail. You have committed some blunder, that is the suffering you have. Don't do that. That is rectifying measure is there in the society all the time. Kshatriyas are still now ruling the country. But the point is that you need not have to think of anything, but Bhagavat teaches us love God. Simple formula. Whatever is your way, love God. In God, in whatever way you want to think about, in form or in formless aspect, or in you are Hindu in one Hindu way, a Christian way, or any other path, love God and pray to God, and then all the purity of the heart will come. We need not have to wait for the avatar. Avatar comes and their message is there all the time. But who is listening to their message? This message is given thousands of years ago. This book is now we are reading. It actually historically, if we say it is Krishna's period, how many?
6 to 8,000.
6 to 8,000. At least modern history historians will accept this is 6,000 years, spiritual text. All is written. Who is listening to that? We read it. We'll forget when we go out of the door and lead our other life. No. So it is the difficulty is there always. We have to practice to love God, pray to God, and that God will take care of the rest. Here is another question. Swamiji said that in his whole life he never had a single wrong thought about woman. Is it possible for an individual to master one's mind by sheer willpower, or is necessary for ordinary people to falter and learn from mistakes? Yeah, and everyone learns from mistake. But as we read today, that if we want to do good, but my tendency does not allow me. Yeah? So what to do then? Take refuge in God. Practice yourself as much as you can. Eh? Then pray to God for giving strength, for giving power, so that we don't do the mistakes. Hmm? Yes, Swamiji is Swamiji. Swamiji is incarnation of Shiva. He is Shiva himself. So for him, that single wrong thought he never thought. He never thought of any woman. And for the lustfully. So is it possible for an individual to master one's mind? Yes, by God's grace it may happen. It can happen. And why not? If you get $1 billion, will you think of $10? Our worldly joy is $10 joy. And God's joy is $1 billion. So if you get $1 billion, who cares for $10? $10 is included in $1 billion. So this is the point. No one cares for this joy of the world or digressing the mind from God to the material object. It's not necessary.
But the problem is that $1 billion is the possibility, $10 is the reality.
That's why we are engrossed into that in ignorance. That's why the scripture saying, no, there is $1 billion. You want, look at me, Shukadev says, look at me. I am $1 billion person. He is always happy, pure, stainless, and you crying and weeping. So why? So you are $10 person. That's why you're crying and weeping with the world and this. I'm $1 billion. I live in the world. I have no attachment. I don't care for anything. Examples. So avatars, Krishna himself an example. Christ is himself is an example. If I do something for others selflessly, is that enough to improve myself? Of course. If we can do things that I am done, I don't expect anything. I out of love, whatever I have done, and I'm offered. I am serve God in the person, and with that attitude we do. Every day we do more and more clarity of the mind. All the doubts and confusions of the mind will go. We will be really spiritual if we can develop that spirit. That is unselfishness is God. Swami Vivekananda said, selfishness is death. As we become selfish, we do mistakes. I am selfish, I want to possess money for me. I want to possess food for me. I want to possess name, fame, power, position in me. I. When you become unselfish, I share with you. I want to you be a partner of that joy, to share, to and give love, give affection, give whatever you have. Even people, as a mother gives her own meal to the children, that's the unselfish love. No? The mother does not say, hey, I shall eat first. If you eat first, okay, the children eat or don't eat, what is their business. Uh, so versus mother gives away, there is the glory of mother. Mother feeds the children first. Last, whatever remains, it is her. So that is the greatness. So in society we live, in our life we live, we should have to think in that line. That will be helpful. Okay? Unselfishness. So your question in one word, if we want really do good to others and do something for others, selflessly, that is the condition. Unselfish. That is enough. Not is enough to improve, but that is one big step to improve our character. Thank you. No.
Very wonderful.